not the event. Good Lord, have mercy. I changed it just a minute ago and it didn't change across. Okay, so I'm sorry about that. For some reason, it just did not want to update all my stuff, and I'm having to go back through and update everything on the fly now. So, we're talking about the universal controller. Once you get it downloaded, you're going to get this screen to come up to the universal controller. So it gives you several settings, and it'll give you the multi and it'll give you the single. If you select the single, it tricks it into believing that it's got 6 inputs. If you select the multi, it only comes in 2 inputs. So there's a little trick there. And then once you get it set for what you want it to do, you go ahead and double click on it. Click on the little mic here in the middle. It'll pop this screen up. Now mine looks a little bit different than yours because I'm running through OBS right now directly, right? So I've got all my OBS settings set up here, but if I want to get rid of that, I'll just click the OBS tab there and it shows you the original mic and what we've got it set to. So I've currently got it set to broadcast male. I've got my gate at moderate. I've got my compression at moderate. I've got my EQ set to vocal. I've got my limiter set to high, and I don't have any backsplash on it. And I'm running in 80 at the 80 frames per second, the high horsepower here. So, and then if you notice over here, you've got your main, your stream, and then your stream mix B. And if you click the headphones on anyone that's lit up, that's the sound that you're going to get through your headphones. And your headphones are up here in the corner, and you can turn those up or down to the mix that's going to be on you. You can blend together here, and then your gain is together over here. This controller here will select what presets you have, and you can move it up or down or left or right with your mouse on that computer there. So there is stuff that's good about this controller. Like if I wanted to listen directly to my next stream after I have it set up, as you see, I've got it set up as headphones and software down here on the bottom, and microphone is on my left-hand side. Right now, it looks like I've got everything up because that's everything that I want to hear in my stream whenever I set this up. I want to hear if I have guests. I want to hear the computer. I want to hear the microphone. I want to hear the background noise. I want to hear everything that's coming through this mic so that I can adjust it and make it right. If I click on Studio A or the Stream A, sorry, the Stream Mix A, if you notice, I've got my mic up, but I've got everything else down. So everything else is down for a reason is because I want to be able to hear what's coming through my mic and whatever else is here. Stream B is going to be the exact opposite. My microphone is down, but I've got my headphones all the way up and everything is down. And this one that's got purple is reverb. So we can turn the reverb up for you guys or we can take it out directly. So there's a lot of good things that can come from this, and I really like the controller. You have two little settings here. You have a omnipresent setting, and then you've got a solo setting over here, and that will change how you hear the mix, like I'm on mix B. Now, if I go to mix A, I only have the two settings here, where I can change it to be a solo, like I'm broadcasting directly in a room, or I can have it directly out. So there is some good functionality on this. And you're wondering what is all these. So if I click these settings, it'll change the preset of how the mic is wired and how it sounds whenever we're broadcasting. So like you got the AM radio setting, you got the robot setting, you've got the female broadcast setting, which I actually think it sounds a lot better than the male setting in my personal opinion with the 80 high horsepower there. But then you've got the male setting, which I've been using, and it switches everything all the way back. Now this is really good. Now up here in the corner, as you saw, I've got my OBS, so I can change screen as soon as I have it logged in and have the plugin logged in to move. I can change everything about this. My scene. You can now you're looking at me. You're looking at me, watching you, watching the screen. So I can change back. I can go. it's got a lot of potential in this software, and this is just the easy stuff. I mean, you can control all your sources over here. You can control your movements. You can change how, like, if I wanted to change my settings through regular OBS to get my transitions to my screen, I can change everything right here. So I don't have to go anywhere to move out of the software, and they're making this easy. Now I've got my OBS on monitor 2, which is over here. Um, and so I can see it changing screens. I can see it moving. I can see it doing everything. And of course, I've got stop, start, record, studio mode, which is for editing and transitioning. I can move everything right there. This next tab that's over to it is going to be your limiters, your EQ, your compression, all of it, your gate, your HPF, and each one you can click on and it'll show you something different. You can move it over to the forefront and tweak it the way that you want to tweak it. So your compression there, your EQ, of course, if you've got a limiter, what you're wanting to do with the limiter, it's all right there for you. So you can tweak each of these the way that you need to tweak it so it sounds perfect for you, sounds great in your broadcast, the way that it needs to sound in your broadcast, which is definitely will be a plus for you if you get it to be able to set right for you. And then your next one over here is the 3 tabs. Now it gives you your default and your mix screen, so you can recall or you can store them directly. Then your last one is your settings on how the mic is set. So PreSonus did a really good thing here because they did set this and give you the options for your mic. So right now, if you notice, I've got like almost a kidney or a heart shape selected down here. That's the polar pattern. It's projecting just to the front where my voice is connected directly to the mic, which is really nice. Very, very nice. But then if I select this one that looks like a figure 8, now it's front and back. It'll clip on both. Of course, you heard me snap in there on the back side of the mic. The next one is like a broadcast for you're putting it in the center of the room. And this is kind of what I see happening a lot is there's a lot of these that are put in the center of the room. People are broadcasting with them, and it's doing a great thing for them directly to broadcast to the software directly up, which is nice. It's a nice thing to have if you have that option to do it, but it's going to capture everything inside the room. And as you hear it, put like an echo almost in the room itself because I'm not padded. My room has a lot of acoustics for the room that's directly through right now. So they've done a lot of good stuff with this. So this is very easy to use. You can reset your settings from the top here. You can mute every channel if you want, or you can sync it up. And if I hit mute here, they're all mute at that point in time. So you can choose to do that whenever you get your mic and whatever you want. You can put a little bit of extra output delay on it if you want. You can change how the buttons are presetted here. I like the 4 in the corner. That's just a personal preference there. And this is really good. So I like this section of it. Now where I'm having trouble is in Studio One. So Studio One, if you don't know, is a DAW. It's a software that you use to record. You can record podcasts. You can record music. You can do video with it. You can do a lot of editing. You can add a lot of plugins to it, compression, um, all sorts of stuff. Compression, MIDI controllers. You can put your keyboard controller, your guitar amp controllers, all of it, all the plugins directly through it. And it's a really nice software to have. They gave us the artist version for free, and there's an upgrade to it, and it's got a little bit more features on it. But I'm having a lot of trouble out of the Studio One, so I've watched a lot of videos. I went to PreSonus, of course, as you see. I'm about to log in for it, so it comes up and pops through with PreSonus, and I'll show you what you got with before I get to the problems I'm having with it. So of course you're here on your main page, and I've logged in. I'm going to click my name, and then I'm going to ask it about my products that I've got. We're going to go to the My PreSonus page, and then it's going to show me everything that I've got. So I've got the Revelator. Now, I don't have the Studio bundle. That's why it's asking me to register that. But I've got the plugins here. I've got the output movement plugin here, and I've got extra plugins that came with it. So they're wanting you to upgrade to Studio One 6 Professional is what they're want you to upgrade to. It's about a $200 upgrade directly right out of the box. And it gives you all these options to download all this other stuff, and they're giving you free demos with it as well. Let's find out what we got. So we click the Revelator tab, and this is everything that came with the Revelator right out of the box. Whenever I got it, started downloading stuff. So I mean, you got the Artist Studio 6, which is nice, great software to use if you can use it and use it properly. But I'm having a lot of trouble with it. So I've watched a lot of videos on it and I can't get it. They give you Albitron Live Lite, which is a music software for it, and also recording and mixing and mastering software that you can use inside of it. They gave you the Arutra Analog Labs Studio Magic is what they're giving you, and they give you a bunch of stuff for Studio Magic. The Cherry Audio, which Cherry Audio gave me extra plugins, but the Cherry Audio did give me a bunch of stuff whenever I went there for free, and it's not on trial. It's actually because we bought this software, they gave us extra software with it in the update for having this Christmas bundle. So they gave you the Studio Magic plugins. They gave you the other Cherry Auto, the Voltage Nucleus, the Ghost Hack Essential Studio Pack for Studio Magic, the Synth Master Player. So you've got the synthesizer there that you can use. I don't know how to. It's like Klangheim or Klangheim, um, like a tube compressor. It's a tube modulation compressor there. The Metal Arctic Studio Bundle. They gave you the Native Instruments replica. So I mean, they gave you a ton of stuff. All this stuff was the stuff that's free to you right out of the box. Output movement. They give you output movement. They gave you now this plugin set here was about a $550 set of plugins, and they gave you all three of these plugins for next to nothing. So you got all of it, and there's actually about four really inside this set. So you're paying about $100 a plugin, and you got it for free with just getting this. Sound Snap, they gave you that for 3 months, which I didn't use that. I didn't put that in yet. They gave you the virtual basis for Studio Magic and the UVI Modular D, and then the Isotope Neutron Elements for Studio. So that was pretty cool, right? So then you've got the Universal Controller down here under your downloads. Well, this is just the PDF. Well, where do you find the Universal Controller? It should have been under your downloads here too to get your Universal Controller direct. No, I had to go onto PreSonus and download the controller direct. Now, after it recognized that I had the mic, it popped up here, but it did not pop up here until I registered the mic in, and it took it a while. It took it almost 24 hours before this download for the Universal Controller popped up here. So I ended up plugging in and trying to play and trying to get the Universal Controller and couldn't get the Universal Controller for a while because it didn't pop up for a download. So, if you guys are having the same problems, you guys got the same things going on, you need to know right up front. That may take some time to register your product. It may take some time to register your serial number. It may take some time to register the OS that you're using. Like I'm using a Mac, you might be using a computer. It may take some time to register that stuff inside their system for you to get everything that you need. So let's kind of get into the ugly side of it. So I am new to Studio One, but I used Pro Tools for a long time. I used Cakewalk for a while, so I'm very familiar with DAWs. With this one, it looks like it's going to be about the same. Let me pop it up here, but it's a little bit different. So now it should be broadcasting, and I should have a different sound now that my DAW is up just a hair. So in order to do this, I've set two tracks up. You hit this plus to set a track up. You name it what you want. You set it whether you want it stereo or mono, what the inputs you want in, the main, and then you would tell it okay or whatever to set. Now to get the advanced features, you click the Studio One button and you hit Preferences, and you'll go to Audio. Now when you're here, you need to make sure that your playback device and your recording device is set to the Revelator mic directly. Now I'm using it at 44 kilohertz a second, and I'm using a sample rate of 128 because I want to podcast and I want to live cast, and I want to make sure that this mic is going to be up to par and up to snuff. Now the lower sample rates that you pick, sometimes the better the audio sounds, but it makes your computer work harder to do that. And then when you mix and master, it's going to be the exact opposite. The higher the bit rate that your samples are, the better it's going to sound as it's coming out. And that's just a tip for beginners. I like mine to be set at about 128 to do the podcast with, and to do a broadcast with, it sounds a little bit more professional to me. Now, if you notice over here on the left-hand side, I've got the record button selected on both of them because I've got a playback channel here that I'm looking to get some playback out of, but I've also got my mic that's going to come through. So my playback channel is going to be anything that's coming through the computer, any music, anything directly, and it should be coming directly through there. Now, in order to get that through there, I not only had to set my settings up here and tell it okay, we'll come back to this in just a second, But on the Mac, I had to go into my actual settings for the Mac as well, my system settings. I had to click the sound button. Then down here, I had to go output and set it to the revelator. I had to do input and set it to the revelator. And then I was good to go. It took a minute for it to switch over, but I was fine. So that's how I'm getting my audio interface in and out right now. So let's say I tell this okay, and now I've got to set it up to do channels, like how I want the channels to be. Now you've already set the basics on it. You hit song setup, and if you notice, I've got like a little white circle bar here over my outputs on how I want this to go input and output. So the first one's going to be my mic. Now I didn't name it. The input left in R should be a stereo input. I'll put that down there, and I've got it on channels 1 and 2 direct. So 1 and 2 should be coming out clear for you, or sounding somewhat clear for you in the direct. My second one is going to be my headphones and my output. So that's going to be my music or whatever I want it to be there. I want that to be in a mono channel because when I mix it, I can mix it into and make it into a stereo channel. But recording it, I need it to be a mono channel so it comes on one side or the other, and that way you're not getting overwhelmed by a ton of audio at one point in time. Input right, I'm going to do the same thing. So I've got another input set that's playback loop for right to go on this section. And I'm going to keep this up for a second. So there's ways to test this. So I'm going to click OK first and let it go away. And see, as you notice, I don't have anything here coming out of the inputs. So I've got to find out what input I've got it on. Is it on input 2? Do I have anything coming back? I don't. So is it input 1? Input 1's got the double there. So it changed inside my headset too when I got the double bars, as you notice. So now I've got both sections set to record. And if I wanted to see if I could just see it by itself, I could hit the solo button, and all I'm getting is this. So this is muted directly up top. All I'm getting is my playback. I'm getting what's coming through, what you're hearing. This should be what you're hearing on the outside. Now, I haven't started recording. I haven't done anything yet. I've not set up a new track. This is just from the get-go of getting into the software. Once I got in, I set it as a song. I did file new song, new, and then it's going to ask me what I want, and that's what I did. I selected a song template, and then I told it, I named it whatever I wanted right here, set the kilobyte rate right here, 24 bits, however long I wanted to do, and set it up. Then I added 2 new tracks by hitting this plus button. Put what I wanted inside the track, named them what I wanted. Like if you notice, I've got this one over here on the left named my mic, the Beavers mic. This is the headphones and playback. Now it works simultaneously with the controller. So when I've got the controller on, it will work directly with that controller up. So I've got it muted here in the software. My mic is muted here in the software, just like my OS is muted there in the software of OBS. However, with that being said, you can test it and bring it back to your loop. So you've got everything. Now, if you wanted to change your blend on this, there's a couple ways you can do it, but the easiest way that I would like you to do is pull your mix up here on the bottom so you can see everything that's going on with your mix tab here. You've got everything here. So at the top, you've got your gains for both of them. So you can turn your gain up and down directly from the top. Then you've got your phasers, or your faders to go in. And if you notice, they're still set to record. So if I was to hit the record button and test it, it would loop back for me. But before we get there, we want to make sure that we've got sound coming through. And the easiest way to do that is through Skype or through Zoom or through a service like that. And what we're going to be looking for is we're going to be looking for this audio on this side here, this double audio, to be pushed out. Now, each of these has a specific frame rate that you want to be in on your phasers. Now, I don't know how to zoom into these phasers. Like I told you, I'm not familiar with this software to the point that I need to be at. But there should be a way where you should hit a button. Maybe this one. Maybe not. Okay. So there's got to be a way where yeah, that's it. So it's this button on top, the arrow that's going over. And you can kind of see where you're peaking at here inside the software through your voice. And this is the best way to get your phaser up so you can change it as well with your gain knobs there, moving it directly through. So you would click this and move it left or right to change the sound. So however you want it. So I went down there. You can barely probably hear me now. But you kind of want to keep it somewhere in between this 24 and the 12. You can go a little bit higher. It's not going to kill it to go a little bit higher, but that's kind of where you want it to be. Now I'm going to move it up just a little bit more because I want a little bit more gain because I want you all to hear me and hear me properly and hear me good on this. So we're just testing this out. We're getting everything ready. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to open up my Skype app. Now from my Mac OS, I've got a tab up here at the top that says Skype. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to go to audio and video settings. And as you see, my ugly mug's popping up on the face with a background behind me. And instead, like I'm in my bedroom, I'm not behind here, but that's just for purposes of Skype, right? So that way I've got a background and I can make my podcast or whatever directly through it. Or if I'm using a Zoom call or I've got you on the podcast, you can hear me directly. So this is going to get a little bit loud, but there's one way to test this. You need to set your microphone here to Revelator. You need to set your speakers here to the Revelator. So that's the easiest way to do it. And then your speaker volume is ran through the Revelator itself. So you can turn your speakers up or down on this app so that you can do that. But then you want to hit the test audio. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the solo button over here on the left-hand side in the software. So we're going to go right over here. Let me move this down just a hair for you so you can see. I'm going to hit the solo button right here. Boom. That's going to mute my mic on the top on that first side, right? Then I'm going to go back into Skype, and I'm going to hit the test audio button. See how I don't have anything? That's why you test it, so you can make sure. So now we got to find out where this is at in this loop. Is it here? It's not available. So that's why you always test stuff before you go live. And see, this is where I'm at. This is the problem I've got. Let me turn this off real quick. So that's why you test stuff out, is so you can figure out what's going on and how to fix it. And that's as far as I've gotten. And see, I've watched the videos. So Presonus has lots of videos on how to set this up. And these are the settings that they gave me to do this. Now, when I put these settings in, it doesn't work. So I'm trying to figure out how I can get it to work. Now, it works through other software. Like if I had you on the OS over here, if I had you on the Mac OS and I had you on OBS coming through, if I brought my OBS up, which you can't see it, but it's over here on this other side. But there's a setting for me to go in and do the screen capture and do the audio capture through that and to have the settings on that for the Revelator itself. Well, I can see on that screen, my mic is moving just like it is on this screen. It's moving here just like this. So I know I've got audio coming from the mic, and I also know that I've got the audio coming from the computer itself directly going in from the audio software that we've got here. And like I told you, I'm not a slouch. I know how to move around things, but whenever I go into my dock settings for Studio One and my prefixes, I'm just having a little bit of trouble trying to figure out how to get my test call to work and how to get my mono channels back. So do I need to change these to... Oh, nope, we don't need to do a 2-inch. Do I need to change these to a stereo channel and let them run direct, or change it to a stereo channel here and this one be a mono? But I've got to figure out how to get that mono channel to read and direct. And we can test it out. I mean, I'm not against testing it out. Good Lord Almighty. If you noticed that was a lot of reverb. I'm so sorry about that, guys. I had to mute that channel. I'm going to have to get that back out. Let's set that back again. God bless. That was terrible. That tore my ears up. I'm so sorry about that. And see, that's the other thing that I've got going on too, is I'm getting a lot of that as well. So do we set this back to mono? So, and that's kind of where I'm at on this. I don't know. God, that hurt. That tore my ears up. But I don't know if that's going to be like that forever, or what we should do to get it to change. Because as we're going through this software, I'm trying to figure out the best way to use this loopback software and to make it sound good. But there's no way to make it sound good when it's feedbacking like that. And that's another thing that I was trying to tell you guys is, it's got some good latency and some good work stuff in it, but if you can't work the software, it's no good to you to work. So, and that's kind of where I'm coming from, is I'm just trying to figure out what's the best way to work the software and the best way to keep the software moving. And as you saw, I got it on input left there. I can get my audio back on input left, but I don't have the mixing board in. And so if I was to go over here to the mixing board, my universal controller board, let's get out of that section. I should have it set up direct. Like I've got everything coming here, what should be coming through my headphones. On Studio Mix A, I should just be getting mine. This is what you should be hearing, my mic, and I should be hearing your stuff come back to me. And on B, it should be just what's coming through the headphones direct. So that's kind of where I'm at, is I'm just kind of at a loss because I don't know what to do or how to get this set up. And I've been trying. I've watched other people's videos. I've watched a lot of other people's videos, and it's just not clicking. Like, how do you make it click, guys? What do you got to do to make it click? So I need somebody to get back to me. I've reached out to Presonus. I've reached out to them several times. I was even on their board. That's actually one of the reasons why I went over here, is because on their community board, if you click community, it'll give you topics that you can go through and go and try to get up. And they give you a little bit of everything, but they don't give you what you're looking for. So even in Studio One, like let's say if I hit the topics for Studio One, and it'll give me presets for it. It'll ask me about this. Can anyone help? Look, this dude's having the same thing. No loading on my Mac, or I mean, there's just all sorts of problems here. So I went to the community to even try to find the answers, and there's no answers for my specific problems that I'm having. It's just coming out there, and it's just being there, and it's there. The problems are there. So Presonus, I mean, Fender, really, it's Fender. Fender is who owns Presonus. Um, I don't think that you have bad software. It's just hard to use. So, um, how can we fix this to the point of making it easier for people to put their inputs and outputs on, making sure that you're getting everything? Because whenever you have a guest or you have somebody come on your show, you don't want it to be direct all the time through your computer. And if I was to turn my settings on the computer here and put all of the output, let me get to my settings. If I put my output settings to the computer direct under the sound, then the microphone is going to pick up all the sound coming through the computer, and you're going to have a reverb and an echo on it more than what you got now. So it's kind of like a dead space and a dead zone inside the microphone directly. And it's not that you're doing bad things, Presonus. I'm just curious because I've watched your videos. I've got it set up the way that you guys have it set up, and it's just not working. So I don't know if there's an update for the firmware that needs to take place, or if there's an update for the controller firmware that needs to take place. But there needs to be an update somewhere, because your claim to fame was right out of the box it could go, and it does. It does go. It does have a good sound right out of the box. You kind of get the money that you pay for with it. It does sound pretty good. And as you notice, the farther back I am away from the mic, the more room sound it gets. But the perfect spot is about this far. So you've got about your pinky to your thumb to the mic. So about 7 or 8 inches roughly from the mic is what gets you the best sound out of the mic. So it's just about playing with it and figuring out how to get this stuff running, how to get this stuff moving, and how to get this stuff working. And then, like I said, I was testing those channels. Let me minimize this, and we'll get back into the main mix here. So I've keeping my mix up here on the Revelator app itself, the Universal Controller app, because these are the normal settings that I would have in Cakewalk, or the normal settings that I would try to have in Pro Tools. Almost the exact same, almost the exact same for it. And your software is good and it's easy to use. The Revelator software here, the universal controller, is extremely easy to use, but I can't get it blended properly. That's number one. Number two is I'm getting all the feedback in the world, so I don't know what I'm doing wrong as far as the software goes in Studio 6 to record. And if I was to record and do a loop back for you, I can do that real quick. Let's just go ahead and do it. So I've got both set to record. That's the first thing you need to do. The second thing you need to do is come down here to the timeline and make sure that you're on 0. If you're not, hit the stop button and then hit the back button, and it'll automatically put you all the way back to 0. Then if you're going to record, what you want to do is hit this record button right here. Now, there's some other steps that you can do, like if you needed a metronome and you needed some other stuff. I believe that they do offer a metronome. I just don't know how to get to it. And let's say you want this browser to go away so you can see your full effects in time. Just click the browser button and it'll go away, and you've got all your faders right here. You've got everything that you need right here to get the browser away. Mix button should still be up. Browser should still be there. But there is a way to get a metronome. I just don't know how to do it through this software yet. Once I figure it out, I'll put the metronome on there. And some softwares it's T, like you hit the T button, but on this one, that's adding a new track. So, so I know that there's lots of different things that you can do. It's just a matter of what can we do to make this a little bit better. So if we're going to record like a small little loopback section, we've got both of our mics coming through, as you see right here. We got both of our faders set. We're getting at a good rate. We're staying under the 4 to 6 range there, and that's a good place where you want to be to kind of broadcast. And if we were, and it'd be great because I can use this audio that's working right now just on the one set. But if I want to have a guest or if I want to do something like that, I can't use your setup to do it. And if I go into the preset, which I'll show that here in a minute, there's a preset. It only lets me use the audio of what's supposed to be coming into the computer as the audio out. It doesn't let me do the direct on both lines either. So it's kind of useless because unless I've got to have a controller or another piece of equipment or something else, if you're trying to get me to buy an add-on for it, man, that clipped this mic. It tore that up. I'm gonna have to turn that down inside the headphone. It's rattling a little bit. But unless I need another piece of equipment, there's no way directly to go directly in as a source like that. Like I've tried playing around with it. I've tried taking all the tracks out, putting new tracks on, starting it from like this. The best way that I figured out is just to start a song and then just do 2 tracks for it and go through, but it's still not where I need it to be. So let's record real quick. We're going to hit this little record button. Hey, this is a test. Thank you for joining the podcast. I hope you guys are doing good today. We are going to be on this show of showing you what's going on with presonus. Thanks for coming along the journey, and we want you to join us back. All right, so now that we've stopped, we've got a clip, and we're a little bit of over 11 bars here. So, oh, nope, that's not how you do that. Hold on here. So we can fade in or fade out and see it, the big side or the little side here, and up and down on the tracks as well, which I just knocked that out. Let me move that back over. Well, I can't do it. Now that I've screwed it, I can't do it. Screwed the pooch on that one, matey. So, but you can move that back over, but I can't move this back over for some reason. All right, so now that I can see my little audio here, we've hit the stop button. We'll go back, and let's see if we can get some playback directly through the headphone jack here, which I doubt that I will. I doubt that I'll have any of it, but it's worth a shot. Let's try to see if we've got it. All right, let me be silent. Hey, this is a test. Thank you for joining the podcast. I hope you guys are doing good today. We are going to be on this show of showing you what's going on with presonus. Thanks for coming along the journey, and we want you to join us back. So I've got nothing, absolutely nothing coming out of that mic and out of that setting. So let's play with it to see if we change it over to the mono channels, if that makes a difference on it, because I'm not getting any sound directly for it through the mono channel there either. So I don't even know if that's going to be a big difference. So we're going to hit the stop button and go back, and then we're going to hit play. Ready? Hey, this is a test. Thank you for joining the podcast. I hope you guys are doing good today. Nothing. We are going to be on. So, and these are common problems that I'm having. And if I'm having them and I'm an experienced person, how is somebody coming into your software that's not experienced um, having this problem? What problems are they having? I mean, it makes you not want to use your software because the software is not usable. And I hate to say that, but it's sometimes it's not. And there's got to be easy fixes to it. There's got to be ways to fix what is going on directly, um, to to each section, to each part. There's got to be a part to do that, some way to do that. But you need to make videos on it, and you need to start from scratch for people that don't know anything, absolutely nothing about your software, how to use it, how to move on it, how to record on it. Now, the other day, I was able to record a track through here. Like I was telling you, I just did the solo track and then I set it through and then moved it out. But it was very boring. It was very boring. And, you know, I can't remember if you went to, I think you went to songs. You do. You go to song and you can do export mix down, and it's going to pop up this screen for you. It's going to ask you where you want to export it to. You can name it whatever you want to name it. Mix down, Wrestle Talk, SoundCloud stuff. It don't matter. And then it'll give you the destination that you want to put it to. You can send it to Notion. You can send it to Studio One. You can send it to SoundCloud Direct. So I mean that's awesome. And then it gives you the options of what type of files you want to be able to export it as. So if somebody wants to get it or they don't have that specific file that they can download one of the other files for you as well. It'll also give you a straight input output mix out, the start to end, however you want it to go. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff with your software that's here, but it's hard to use. So, and not only is it hard to use, it's hard to understand because on normal software, this would be the way to go to test your stuff out and to make sure that your stuff is working properly and that you've got a proper mix on your stuff directly. And I know if I'm having problems, there's at least 10 to 15 or 20 other people who are having the same problems, and we went through the videos. We went through your videos. I watched all of your videos on the Revelator series. I went through them. I was stopping at different points in time to make sure that I was doing it as he was setting it up, that I had the same settings he had when he was setting it up, that I made sure that my mono channels were mono, my stereo channels were stereo, that I had the playback, that I did the controller setup with him whenever he did the controller setup. I tried to make sure that everything was set up direct so that it would look the same way as it looked whenever he was doing it, so that I could get the same results that he got inside the videos through presonus, but that didn't happen. So, you have to, there's give and take on some stuff, guys. And that's kind of the ugly section here is I'm not a slouch on this. I am new to your software, but in regular recording software, that's just standard stuff. Pro Tools, that standard stuff is, you want to set it up for a broadcast and you've got a two-channel input. Well, it's going to ask you what you want to do for input one and what you want to do for input two, and if you want it to be mono or stereo, and then which set of controllers you want to use it out of. Are you going to be using it through an actual interface or XLR or a quarter-inch jack, or what are you going to be using it out of? Are you going to be using a USB-C? Once you have that set, then it's just plug and play, record, boom, start it. You can put your compression on it, you can put your gate on it, you can put your EQ on it, you can put your limiter on it right from that point. And see, you did that from the get go with the Revelator app here right in front of me. You gave me those options directly right here and gave me the tweaking options up here, which was definitely a good thing for your software. But it's overshadowed. It's very much overshadowed by not being able to use Studio One 6 the proper way. And I'm not trying to shit on you in any way. I don't want you to take it like that. But we've got to get some things fixed because I do like the way your software is set up. I do like the way the Revelator is set up. I do like the way that we've got input and outputs able to be selected directly through the Revelator itself. We can hear the audio coming in and we can hear the audio coming out. We can hear the speaker volumes coming in and out. We can hear the clipping on everything. We can hear it all. It's a good thing for your system and for your setup to have something that's this ease of use. But do I have to have the controllers? Do I have to buy the extra controllers in order to get it to work properly? Am I doing something wrong? Is there something wrong that I'm setting up wrong? Because I'm trying to figure it out, guys. I mean, I'm really trying to figure this out, and I have no idea. I mean, no idea what's going on with this. Um, and I had it set up. The first time I set up the video, it was set up right, and I exited out of the software and it reset the revelator itself. So I went back through and watched the video. It reset this revelator software once I exited out. I didn't save it. I didn't put it down as to what preset I wanted and where I wanted it, and it didn't save it. So it knocked everything back out. So I had to go back in and through and put it back into the settings that I wanted it to be, and watch those videos and put it back in the settings I wanted it to be. And I still don't have the audio out as I wanted it to before. So, um, it's not the fact that your software isn't good. Your software is good. I think your software would be wonderful if we could just get little things to work with it, little bugs worked out with it. And I'm trying to do that. I've reached out to you several times, but I'm very upset. And look, if you leave a message on presonus, let me go to presonus and I'll do that real quick so I can show everybody, because you all need to know this is just ridiculous. So if I pull up my web here and I need support, it's going to tell me all my open tickets that I've done. Hey, how can I set up a podcast using Studio with Skype or OBS or Zoom? Why can't I get the call to come through? That was on December 14th. They still have not responded. Where can I find the universal audio controller for the mic? That was December 13th. On December 14th, they did send me a pending request on that. That came through, but hey, still they haven't audited. Even though they put this in pending, they haven't sent me anything directly from that. I don't have any closed tickets here. So the closed tickets that I do have closed tickets. The closed tickets that I do have, they decided to close them because I cussed. I said, I feel like I'm not a fucking idiot. And they decided that that was not good because I had profanity come through the message. So I had to rewrite another message. Well, that made me even more pissed off because I'm trying to express to you that I'm trying to use your product. I bought your product. I bought it. I pulled it out of the box. I started to use it. I started to record with it in OBS. I started to record with it on Restream. I started to record with it on Facebook Live. And I started to record with it on Kick and Twitch. And I tried to get it to hook up to the Xbox, but I need a splitter in order to hook it up to the Xbox to get it to work. I got it hooked up on the PlayStation, and it sounds great. It's phenomenal as far as that goes on those things. But it's kind of hard because I'm trying to use your software and I'm asking for help. And then when I go to ask you for help, you go, oh, null and void. You said fuck. We can't have you saying fuck in our chat. And that's the stupidest thing. So do I have free speech or do I not? And if I'm buying your product, I should be able to give you honest and true and pure feedback of your product. That should be number one. That should be first and foremost. Honest, true, and pure feedback on your product directly. If I can give you honest, pure, and true feedback, even though I might cuss like a sailor sometimes, you kind of get the point of, hey, there's something wrong with what's going on, and we need to make some videos to fix this so that our users can have a better interface, a better experience, make it easier of use for them. We can update the firmware and take out the things that we need to take out. We can put the things in that we need to put in. We can actually change the settings over so that it can move directly through. And that's what I'm saying. I did that 3 times with you all. I wrote you 3 times and you closed it due to profanity. Look, I'm trying to work this. I bought your fucking product. I can't find the fucking shit. I'm trying to make it work. This is the second message now that I'm already pissed off. I'm telling them exactly how it is, bro, because I'm sick of it. You know, you get sick of it after a while, and they block you out on that. So I asked them nicely, hey, I bought the controller. I told them where I got it from. I watched the demo. The demo was great. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to purchase it, was for the demo. It was a major selling point. Some of the features that it had, because you didn't have to buy 3 or 4 pieces. You got it all in one piece. And that makes a huge difference whenever you can get something in one piece. And so I asked them, do I have to buy another piece of equipment or another piece of software? Because, you know, when it's demoed, I was told that I would have everything I needed in the software. And I told him, I said, maybe I'm being a fucking idiot. Can you help me? Can you have somebody help me? Can you give me some dummy messages? Can you give me something? I need something because I need to know. I need to know directly what I'm doing wrong so I can fix it, so I can get it 100% fixed all the way around. And they denied the message too because it had profanity. So they keep closing those tickets out, and that was making me really mad. You know, I had to wait on them, and we're still at the 16th, so we're 3 days later, and I still haven't gotten any responses from them directly through. So, you know, that's the hard thing. And then whenever you go to look for articles on Studio 16, it doesn't give you what you need. as far as that goes, like setting up a podcast, setting this up. And let me show you that too. Let me go over to Studio One and we'll start a brand new podcast. Let me minimize Skype and get Studio One back up. I'm sorry, guys. All right, so we're going to cancel this. We're going to start new, file new. It's already got a pre-tabbed here for content creation. It says create podcast with or without video. We're going to select that. We're going to put it back in 24-bit resolution, but you can put it all the way up if you want. 24 is works for me. It just does a great job. We're going to name it test broadcast. All right, so it's going to give you some stuff that pops up. And if you notice, my mic changed directly when I went into this. It changed the input output settings of the mic. It changed where it was coming from, how loud it is, all that good stuff just directly for this, which is a plus. I really do enjoy that you've at least tried to make the input and output work on this a little bit better. Well, where I'm having a problem is right here. So once we go to select the input, we're going to tell it to keep, by the way. Once we go to select the input for which mixes we want, and we can try to solo them, we don't have anything here. Underneath this mic, underneath anything, we can put a track there. We can tell it to take voice down 2. There's nothing coming through. Even if I hit the record button here, there's nothing coming through. And if there is feedback, notice the feedback immediately. There's a lot of feedback immediately on these mics. So, and I'm putting it in the solo mode because I'm trying to find the best place where it needs to be to keep the mic where it's supposed to go. And if it's that loud, like if I put this one on solo, I've got it on stereo. Let's do input 1 and 2. I don't have anything. Let's turn the record section on for it. Way up there. So let's turn the gain down on the mic. Gain down on the mic and it's still doing it. I'm picking it all up. So I can't change it. Sorry about that. So I can't change it off of this stereo loop because if I change it, I get that. Now this says go in line. This is the go on track. So this is your audio track directly from music or FX as it says that it's set up, but there is no music or FX. Let me turn this back up. There is no music or FX that is coming through um, this channel. And these other two channels are clipping or they're making noise, and that's all they're doing. So if we go into our presets here, our preferences again, we're going to make sure the revelator selected 128, 44 hertz, of course, the setup song selection, and we've got left, right, mono, mono. Now, if I change these to a stereo, boom, stereo, and then as you notice, you've got these little sections that are crosshaired and applying, but we're going to apply it anyway and see what it does just in case, because sometimes that might be the problem. You might not be in stereo with it. But if we go down here, then it takes everything out because it's noticing that there's only one stereo line that's going through it all. So if I go back into my preferences again and I change it back to mono, we're going to go song setup, change these back to mono. Boom, we're going to go mono. Boom, we're going to go mono. Well, if you notice, I don't have the use section for it to come through. I've only got the one section here with the light bulb on it. So I'm having all sorts of crap here. I mean, I don't know. Do I need to turn this section on here for input 1 and input 2? Um, click OK. Now, if I hit this button here, that's the record button, but it's not giving me anything that I need to go forward. So that's what I'm trying to say. I've got lots of issues in the software. I'm trying to work these issues out. I don't know how to work these issues out. I don't know if I can work these issues out. So I need help with your software trying to get this stuff to work out. And I'm totally not trying to be a dick. I'm not trying to shit on you or your product, but this is fucking ridiculous. I mean, absolutely fucking ridiculous. It should automatically notice if it's a mono or a stereo, and it should tell you, what section that you want to put it through. And as you notice, whenever I put the section 2 there, input 2 in for mono, it automatically took up. Let's see if I do it for input 1 here, if it'll do the same thing here. So I've got input 1 and 2 on mono section there. Now if I solo it, see how loud it got so quick? I can't get it to fade in or out either to go down. So I don't know if that's the mic settings from, God, it's hurting my ear. hurting my ears real bad. I don't know if it's the mic settings from here directly coming through, if it's the blend settings from there going through and turning down. I see. I don't know, but the audio is currently all the way up, but it's ear piercing in the headset. Like it's extremely ear piercing in this headset. And I mean that's a bad sound. I don't know what to do to get rid of it. So I'm trying to keep it off of the audio. It may be showing up on the audio directly on the live stream, but it's awful. It's awful, awful. And I don't want that sound to come through whenever I'm recording. I don't want to have any sounds like that. How do I change it to get those sounds to stop? Can somebody please tell me? Can somebody please make a video on this and tell me, please? Because I'm trying to figure this out and it's not clicking in my head how to figure this out. And like I told you, I'm not the greatest in the world at this stuff, but I do know enough to be dangerous. And I know that these faders down here don't have anything to do with it. See, because I'm not even getting a notion bar here to change the gain on them anymore whenever I click in or click out. And if I click the bottom one, it just doesn't do anything for me. Click the back side, I've got a thinner view of it. So I can go back to the full view or thinner view there. And then the controllers, like your external controllers, your MIDI controller. So I mean your groupings, of course, and then your channels that you've got here, what you want to be on, where you want to go. So, like I said, I'm not a slouch on some of the stuff, how to use your software and how to record with your software, but I'm having trouble figuring out how to get that echo out, how to turn the ear piercing sound off, how to move it down. Then again, it could be because I'm soloing there. Let's record and see if that's even better. So I don't know if it's because I tried to solo two tracks or not, but I'm still getting that sound. Let me go back over here to the controller because I turned my blend all the way down. I can't tell if the solo is trying to solo over each other or not. So let me turn my blend back up so I can hear everything inside the blend here. The blend master. All right. So see, it changed. Now, when I did that, it changed everything back to normal on the controller, and that might be the problem too. God have mercy. It this is just this has just been a nightmare to try to work this out. So it should be only that one up for number two, and number three should be this one going up directly. Is how it should be. So it should be all up, just the mic up, and just the headphones up, or vice versa, just the headphones up and just the mic up on this one. So either way you've got it set up, it don't really matter how you have it set up in the inputs or outputs because you're gonna be able to use those channels direct. So let's go over here and check this out. Let's hit the solo button again. See if it changed it. Nope, I don't have it there. Don't have it there. So now the solo is gone. The volume is gone. Lord have mercy, Jesus. All right, let's turn all that down and see if we get some of the backing on this. And then this one should be up and that should be down. And let's see if that plays through, how we can play through it. See, I can't hear anything. My headphones are completely silent now. Can't hear nothing. So I still can't hear anything. Everything went completely silent on me. Completely silent, no matter what I do in the headphones or not. And it might be because I turned this audio mixer down in this. If I turn it up, I'm still not getting anything. Could be because I have it soloing over here. But I'm getting that, but I'm not getting any sound out of it directly. So, and it may have stopped the mic directly, and that's what I'm saying. It's gotten to the point to where I almost want to return it. I almost want to return this because I'm not having any help. I'm not having anybody that's reaching out to me, that's trying to help me, that's sending me emails, that's doing anything to kind of communicate with me back and forth on your product. But in the same aspect, I like the mic. I like the functions of the mic. I like the features of the mic. I want to be able to use the mic, but it's not to the point to where I can use it. So even if I solo here, the stereo line is completely gone now. I can tell it none, nothing's going to happen. Input 2 doesn't have anything. Let's try input 1. Input 1 doesn't have it. So it's so as I said, I'm getting rid of some of this stuff. I'm dropping a lot of it off the ground here, but I've lost complete sound now. So I have no sound coming through the headphones at all. Nothing. So that's my gripes and complaints. I have no sound coming through the headphones. As you see my phones, I can turn it all the way up or all the way down. I can blend it. There's nothing coming through the blend section of it. I can't hear anything through it. I can try to change it. I still don't have anything. Try to change it here. I still don't have anything. So let's restart the app and see if we can get some volume. Okay, do I have anything here? I don't have anything on the main. Still don't have anything here. Don't have anything here. So that's what I'm saying. It's just so frustrating because I know that I'm talking and I can see it on my OBS over here that I've got volume coming through the mic and the mic's presetting, and you can see it right here. I've got volume coming through here, but I don't have anything now for my headphone set. So I'm just at a loss. I'm just at a loss with your stuff. I like it. It's just to the point of if I'm not going to get any help and nobody's going to help me, nobody's going to send me videos and nobody's going to talk to me and nobody's going to have a master class for you to take or something, then it needs to go back. The mic's great. I mean, the sounds that are coming from the mic are great. The volume, the gain, the controls. And that's something else too is like right here underneath, you can see my gain. I don't even have my gain up. I don't have it up at all. It's very low on the gain to try to keep it up because it sounds good. And as I change settings, as I'm moving through and changing the settings for different things, it's even better. But I just don't have that wonderful thing. And I still don't have speakers here plugged directly in. So I'm gonna have to reset it. I think this is gonna be the end of the video, but presonus, I'm telling you guys, y'all got to do something, man. It's it's starting to get to a crazy point here because I'm trying to figure all this stuff out at once and I can't figure it out. It's just killing me to try to figure out your stuff. And I've watched I've watched your videos with everybody up there. I've tried to see what's going on with it. I know that you're hearing me type right now because I've got it on the desk right beside it. So I know I'm slap hitting those keys and I've got that thing going, and you're picking it up on the mic. You're picking that stuff up on the mic directly right there, and I do apologize for that. But I'm trying to get this stuff all settled out. Now for the money, I mean for the money I paid, the software that they gave me, that's an excellent deal, excellent bundle. But I'm having problems with it, and I'm having a lot of problems with it. And I've watched other people's videos. I've reached out to other people through my YouTube channel. I've reached out to people direct, and I'm still having those same issues out of it that I had before, and sometimes in some cases it's worse. So, and I've been out of OBS so long that it wants me to use OBS over here again to try to launch it up and see some stuff that's going on here. Let's no, don't do that for me. But I'm trying to find some stuff here for you. You know, my YouTube channel should be popping up there if it would pop up, but of course it won't. So let me drop the revelator here. Let me drop all this stuff and we'll see if it pops up on the front screen here for you. It may not. Nope, still not going to do it. So I'm going to have to move that up as well. But it's a Rabbit Beaver 132 and DEVA is what it is. What you can see. Let me see if I can move this up so that you all can see it on your screen. Jesus, it's being crazy with me. All right. So you see my OBS up here right now. So notice that I still can't do it. I still can't have you guys up here with the OBS on. Let's move that up. Wow, it's still not wanting to do it. Jesus. There it is. Good Lord. It took me a minute to get it. That's my little thing there. You can see it. I don't really care if you subscribe. I just want somebody to get back with me and talk to me and let me know how it works. Yeah, dude, Trev, it's so true, bro. I don't think it's the LimeWire virus, but it feels that way. I mean, it feels like the firmware was updated, and when they updated the firmware, they took a bunch of features out, and they tried to replace them with other features, and they weren't better features. That's kind of how it feels. It feels like when people do that with different things, or they're trying to X out something, so they try to sell it. That's how it feels, bro. And my screen is definitely not a virus. It's just trying to show you what's going on here in my screen directly. Hey, stop it. And I don't know why it did that for me, but it did. But yeah, guys, I mean that's just normal everyday life stuff. I need you guys to get back with me. I need somebody to get back with me. Presonus, get back with me. Somebody get back with me. Hit me up on YouTube. That's where this is going to be. Facebook Live. It's going to be there. If you guys know, then you know. And like I said, I mean, I've got it set to the settings that they've got. I've got it on single. I've got it at 44 hertz. I've got it running through the microphone direct. I've got everything working. It's just not wanting to work with me. So that's why I'm making this video is because I'm trying to get the help to do it. And I need your help to do it. Really, to be honest with you, because I don't know what's going through it. I can hear certain things in the headphones at certain times, and then other times, like I said, it went completely out. It died on me completely. I have no headphones, or it solos and it tries to double solo, and I lose everything there too. I click solo on one, and it's shouting, it's going through the roof. So guys, just get back with me. Those of you that work in the Studio 1.6 all the time, get back with you. Those of you that use the Universal Controller through presonus all the time, get back with me. Presonus, get back with me. I need somebody to get back with me, homie. So that's going to be my stream for the night. Thank you guys for coming to my TED Talk Bitch Fest. But like I said, there's good and there's bad in it. And I've done some podcasting with it already. I've actually recorded into the software and released something to SoundCloud already. And it sounded decent, but it sounded like there was a huge echo coming from the background when there's only supposed to be catching me and the mic. I've got a filter on it. I've got a homemade little sake poo filter going on it, but it works. I mean, it catches the wind off of it, catches the pop directly off of it. Until I can do better, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to be the ghetto superstar recorder that I am. But yeah, it just completely died on me. The headphones died on me in live. I mean, I had to restart it several times. It's just like, where do you go and what do you do? Um, because I wanted the software so that I could do other things. Because the Pro Tools software I could record, but I'd have to send it to another DAW to get it to master and mix and to send it out. And this had it all in one, and that was one of the big selling points for me was using the DAW, I could get it all done at one point in time. Well, that's not the case. I mean, so I'm trying to figure out: do I have to have another controller? Do I have to have the Atom controller with it? Do I have to have the IO24? I mean, what do I have to have that'll make this work and work properly? And please, please, PreSonus, please, if you guys get a hold of this, those of you out in the middle of nowhere that have this software, somebody please just reach out to me and get it, bro, because it's starting to really bug me. I showed you my messages, I showed you everything, and it made me even madder that you didn't even take my input. You were just like, oh, fuck you. You just threw me in the fuck you pile because I said fuck in one of them. Like that, it makes no sense. Like, makes no sense whatsoever. People cuss, dude. They cuss all the time. They want to know that you care about them and care enough about them to help them with their product that they're having problems with. I'm having problems with your product. And not only am I having problems with your product, but I want to be one of the people that say, okay, well, this is how you overcome this. If you've got this issue, this is how you fix that issue. If you got that issue, this is how you fix that issue. Unfortunately, I can't do that because nobody's reaching out to me, nobody's talking to me, nobody's doing anything. And it's just driving me absolutely bonkers, guys. So, anyway, I'll get back to you guys shortly. That's going to be my TED Talk, my little bitch fest for the day. But I'm going to work on this. I'm going to reset the computer. I'm going to reset the controller. I'm going to reset the mic. I'm going to get everything back to the way that it once was. And then we'll just go from there. I'll talk to you guys